My name's Chris and this is my friend Dave, the LVAD. Basically, the LVAD is a life support system that's keeping me alive, and without the LVAD I don't think I'd be here today. When I was 35 years old I had a massive heart attack which led to cardiac arrest. I was told I wasn't going to live for much longer and basically there was nothing they could do. But with time went by, they found a cure where they did an operation. That wasn't successful, so they flew me by helicopter back to Freeman's to Newcastle, where this basically says you haven't got very long to live, you need a LVAD, a left ventricle assist device, which will give you a bridge to support the heart until you get a transplant. Best way to explain it is, if you know anything about tools, it's like a ratchet with a socket on the end, and it's the ratchet head and the socket that's fixed into the bottom of the heart, and that is connected to this battery pack and computer which operates the pump, and basically it sucks the blood out, pumps it to the aorta and sends it around the body, then pumps it back out, sends it around the body. What's it sound like? It sounds like a washing machine actually. Every time you go into an hospital or to your doctors, they're all queuing up to listen to your chest because it's unusual to find somebody with no heartbeat. And when I go to bed on a night time and I lay down, I can actually hear it. And when I first got it, it used to keep me awake. You can hear the ooh noise of it, you know, and it's quite irritating. But now I've got used to it. I normally check my blood every day, basically for the thickness, and basically because you've got this pump inside and the blood has got to be really thin to go through it and keep it working. If it gets thick it'll get clots in it and stuff like that and stop the pump from working. If my blood is too thick I have to inject myself with tinzaparin, which goes in the stomach, and I don't like doing that one. This is all the tablets I take in 24 hours. I've got 2 batteries which power the controller, and there's the controller, and basically if these batteries came disconnected, I better not do that, a red light will come on and a loud alarm, and it's, I'd say, louder than the fire alarm in this building. It's really deafening. And then basically you've got to go through the procedure of reconnecting within 10 seconds or I'll probably start to pass out maybe. You know what I mean? You have so long before it affects you. Well, we have actually disconnected it once before just to see what it was like. We did have a doctor here, and as soon as he disconnected I started to feel faint and I nearly collapsed on the floor. So he had to plug me back in quick. When they do a training session in Newcastle and they do disconnect one of these machines for training, sometimes they can't stop the alarm straight away, so they wrap it in towels and put it in the bedding cupboard, you know, because it's that loud. It is a pain having to travel 98 miles every 8 weeks up to Newcastle. I suppose at the end of the day it's worth it. They ask you how you're going, getting on, had any problems, listen to your breathing, your lungs and stuff. Blood pressure, there's no point checking blood pressure because I don't have any blood pressure. I don't have any heartbeat either. That's due to the machine. Basically a verbal conversation on how you're getting on. But I find the staff at Freeman's are very dedicated. You get the same nurses and doctors all the time, so you can build up a relationship with them. And then every maybe 6 months you'll go up for a 3-day checkup where they actually do checks on the organ, the muscle, and to see if it's working okay and to see if you're still fit enough for a transplant. Might sound daft, you've got to be really poorly to get a transplant, but you still have to be fit enough to receive a transplant. Because it was coming up to a year old, we thought we'd give him get him a birthday cake, and we had that cake made and we took it to Freeman's for the nurses. If I did collapse, this card, I have this card here, and basically it tells them that I've got an LVAD, and basically I don't have any pulse or any blood pressure, and if they're going to do CPR on me, it's more of a danger, because when they're doing CPR they can actually press down on the chest and push the pump out of the muscle. When I go in the car, I plug myself into a cigarette lighter. It's similar to this cable here. This plugs into the mains, but when you go in the car you can plug yourself into the cigarette lighter. Well, when I first got it, I used to catch the bus into town, and I used to get off the bus and forget about it. And it used to pull me back. As I say, it's connected to me, so it pulls me back. And restaurants, when you go to a restaurant and you walk in, there's only two of you, and you say, "Can I have a table for three, please?" "Oh, there's somebody else coming." "No, he's here already." "There's only two of you." "No, it's for Dave. He's in bag." We've all named as Elvads, give them names like Dave. There's an Elvis, there's a Bertie, a Fred, but mine's Dave. And they look at you stupid and say, "It's crazy, this man. We better just give him a table for three." It's so you can put the LVAD on the chair at the side of you, so he's not on your lap all the time. Because you might, if he's on your lap, you might forget about him and just fall down. But if he's on a chair, it's okay. You've got to watch out for some of your friends who don't know you've got it, who will come up to you and grab you and give you a man hug, you know what I mean, like a bear hug, and lift you up in air in celebration. You think, give up, you'll pull my cable out. I normally go to the continent, but due to being on the transplant list, I have to be like within 4.5 hours of Newcastle. Because when they get a donor organ, it's got to be transplanted within 4.5 hours. Apparently, I'm supposed to tell the transplant coordinators where I'm going. If I'm going to stop at a friend's house, I'm supposed to tell them where they am, but I never do. If I'm going to go somewhere, like I go to a wedding and it's in a country park and there's no mobile phone signal, I have to tell them where I am and the reception's telephone number so they can get in touch with me. When we meet anybody, they always say, "How are you doing? Are you okay? Are you getting better?" and stuff like this. And they all seem to ask, "Well, how long do you have to wait for your transplant?" So basically I just truthfully say, "I'm just waiting for somebody to die." But they never ask how my wife is, Julie. If you ever get one of these machines or you're in a state of where you need support, always remember who's supporting you, because if it's your partner, they're going through the trauma with you as well. So yeah, she's a little angel. I'll get the transplant one day, and I do think it'll take me about 12 months to recover. And then basically I've got two ideas. I'm either going to buy a VW camper and go touring around Europe, or I'm going to move to France for 6 months. Julie wants to have chickens and ducks and stuff. I don't know, it's a woman thing. Well, at the moment I'm actually learning French, so planning for my big trip. But I'm not very good at French, but I'll get there. But I might be in this position in another 2 years' time waiting for the transplant. So I just got to wait, see what happens. Being on the list now, I would say coming up to a year in March on the active list. And I've had no phone calls whatsoever so far.